judgment or criticism, just for your nickels, dimes, and quarters in place of your help-filled orders to get off my behind and get a job. Because I had one, right before I lost my house. So don't tell me to go home, because trust me, if I could, I would, but I can't. So instead, I'm out here forced to shift through your bias and cursing words and twisted looks in place of the spare change that I asked you for, while you effortlessly make me feel lower than I already am sitting on this train station floor. Spare change, please. Spare prayers, please. I can't go home because, ironically, my family loves me too much to see me suffering through this addiction. I can't go home because that book says thou shalt not kill, yet and still execution weighs the most in my mind when I think of the nights my father destroyed me from behind and my mother was too relieved that it wasn't her, but instead me, to do anything about it. I can't go home because they say that's where the heart is, but mine disappeared the same night my wife did. Maybe I can go home, I just don't want to, because I've made a decent living off of caring people, perhaps like you. Spare change, please. Spare prayers, please.
But this adversity will not define him. My son has given me strength in these 2 hours that he has been alive. How dare you speak of weakness here? Monsters exist. So avoid them at all costs. They can disguise themselves as family and as friends. So do not judge one who they say they are, because their actions will speak for them and their spirit will always speak truth. So if you're in tune with God's will, He will do the speaking for you. I love you. Look a person in the eye when you shake their hand. Always with the right, I love you. Sometimes stay away from violence, but sometimes you are backed into a corner and all you can do is fight your way out. I love you. Stay away from skeezers. No, I don't want to meet her. Unless she's special, you'll know I love you. Embrace this rich black culture. You inherited it. It was paid for with blood. I love you. Open doors, pull out chairs, use your please and thank you, sir.
Where they're forced to live on top of each other. No, really, I'm talking about whole families straight stockpiled together. And then they told me because of Reaganomics, they were living in a recession before Wall Street stocks dropped. That place around the corner, called the Hood, it even has these things called projects, which to me just look like experiments gone wrong. Because the only thing that happened was this untouchable class that's been economically isolated, racially segregated, politically subjugated. You ain't hear from me, but the minority children in that area are left uneducated, and the whole community's been redlined. Property taxes were so high that mom and pop stores really couldn't survive, so the only businesses that now thrive are hair salons, nail shops, and liquor stores. So when you move in, you sign up to subsidize your self-worth. See, they're America's modern-day concentration camp with these larger concentrations of blacks, Asians, and Latinos. These new generations are gassed by city dumps, biolabs, and landfills. Their loving lungs collapse under these politically anaerobic conditions.
This class, I start with a smile and leave with a headache. I swore I would never abandon them, but then someone put bombs in our streets, lit up the sky, and made death sound like fireworks. Then I found myself unable to be with them. Then I yearned to my four walls, for my classroom headaches, for those young faces that I knew would have something to say about all this. But when I got there, they didn't need me. These barely past puberty pillars stood angry, said, violence happens every day for us, said, it plays out on the stages of front porches, street corners, school hallways, said, stop. We don't want to hear about the Boston Marathon bombing, said, we don't want to talk about the Boston Marathon bombing, said, we don't want to write about your Boston Marathon bombing, said, stop.